Hi, I'm Pam Cullen from 3 Mile Pond Girl Creates, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Augusta, Maine. And today I'd like to show you how I made this card using the textured floral bundle that's featured in the new annual catalog. And I got the inspiration from this card actually from one of the pictures in the catalog on page 65, and it was this one right here. This is actually a note card. And so I changed mine up a little bit and I made mine a regular A2 card, like a 11 by 4¼ card. And I put a card base of Lemon Lolly. And then I'm using that really pretty, bright and beautiful 6x6 designer series paper like the person did that made this card. And so I haven't changed too much of this up. I used a few different flowers, still made the ribbon out of that paper because I thought that was a really cute idea to just fold the cardstock to make the ribbon as a custom made embellishment for this card, which I thought was nice. I love that sentiment because I'm actually making this card for my friend's birthday and she loves flowers, so I just thought that was a really great sentiment to use for her card. And then I couldn't be happier to have you as my friend for the inside sentiment, and that comes from the Irresistible Blooms stamp set, which also comes as a bundle. And while I'm talking about this and this, beginning June 1st, most of the designer series papers in the catalog are on sale at 15% off, and both the bright and beautiful 6x6 that we're using for this card today and the Irresistible Blooms paper is on sale as well. And so you go head over to my website and check that out. You can see all the ones that are available and the prices for those. I think they're about $10.62 each on the sale price. So let me just show you a little bit of this paper, this bright and beautiful 6x6 paper, and it has some really fun designs in here as well as some solids, but that still have a little bit of interest in them. So this is a really fun pack of paper, and again, that's on sale, and we're using it's right here, the other side of this one. So this is the paper that we're going to be using for this project today. Again, that's the bright and beautiful, so don't worry, all of these products and instructions, everything I've used and the measurements will be over on my blog, so you don't need to worry about remembering all of that at the moment. So that's the products that we're going to be using. So we're using this from the Textured Florals, the Birthday Blooms for You, and we're using, for this greenery, I used these 3 dies here, which this piece of greenery didn't show very much, so I might, for this card, pull that down just a little bit more to tie that in down below. And then we're using this piece here to cut our floral pieces out. So those are the dies that we're using from this set. And then I'm using the stylish shapes for this circle here. We're using the 3rd largest of the stylish shapes for our sentiment circle on the front. And then for inks, we're using only Old Olive and Flirty Flamingo, so not only a couple of inks this time and not too much stamping. So this card shouldn't take us very long at all to make today. So let's set that aside. Let's bring in our papers. So again, we have that 11 by 4¼ piece of Lemon Lolly cardstock that's scored at 5.5. We have a 5¼ by 4 piece of the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper, a 5¼ by 4 piece for our inside sentiment. We have some scrap pieces to stamp those floral pieces and to cut our circle sentiment from, and then a piece of scrap Old Olive to cut our floral our greenery pieces from. And then there's this last one is a strip of 3/4 by 9.5 that we're going to use to fold to make our ribbon piece for the front of the card. And so that's all we need. So let's keep this out because we're going to need to stamp our inside sentiment, and this for our floral pieces, and bring in, because this is photopolymer stamps, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat, and we will use that for our floral pieces. These have score marks on them, so I'm trying to stay in between. This was a little mistake piece of paper, but it's going to work for what we're using it for today. I hate to waste any paper, so I save every piece and make it work for something. So we're also going to do a technique called stamping off for this project, and so I'm going to bring in another piece of scrap. I could stamp right on this, but I don't want to for the video. So we're going to take this and stamp that full strength in our Flirty Flamingo ink, and then we're going to stamp it off once, and we're going to stamp that on the page, and without re-inking, we're going to stamp again. And so we get that nice light pink feature. So as you can see, we get the really dark Flirty Flamingo, which I think that's too dark for this project. And then we get that nice lighter and then lighter again. So I think that that's really nice. We're only using one ink, but we're getting three shades of color on that, which I think is really pretty. So then we're going to bring in our old olive, and we're going to take this stem piece, and this is a little challenging, but once you say that now, but we'll see on the video, once you see how it works, it's not quite as difficult as it looks. And with the photopolymers, you can see through it. So you're going to kind of follow that flow of white right here, because that's what the stem kind of does. So I try to line up on these two pieces here and the top as best I can. And hopefully, I shouldn't start on the light one here, but we'll do the hardest first and see how we do. Well, I think that's going to be okay. And then we'll take this one, and see, it's a little bit easier when you can see a little bit better. Let me see here. Let's try that. Yep, there we go. That's pretty lined up, and it's kind of abstract anyway, so it's not crucial that you get those completely in the, where it's supposed to be, but it does make it a little bit easier when you're trying to die cut those pieces out to get it as lined up as you can. So, because you're going to try to line that bottom up, and hopefully you want all the rest of this to fit in where it's intended to be too. So that's the only thing. But if it's not, you can trim it with your snips or anything. So again, it's not terribly crucial if it's not completely lined up, but once you do it a few times, it actually is a little bit easier. The first time I was twisting it all around like, oh, I'm not sure how this goes. But once you get it and figure out which direction it goes, it's not that difficult. So I have already cut out the two pieces that we need for that. So that's how you stamp it. This is what you get for a finished product for that. And then we're going to stamp our inside sentiment, and that one is not photopolymer, so we don't need our mat, and we don't need these things anymore, so we'll move those out of the way. Bring our old olive ink in, and our here it is, and our 5 1/4 by 4 piece, and we'll stamp this sentiment on the inside. There we go. And then while we have that old olive ink out, we'll go ahead and stamp our birthday blooms for you on our circle piece. And you can do this either way. I usually cut my circle and then stamp, but you can go ahead and stamp and then cut your circle, whichever works the best for you. So there we go. There's our front sentiment. And so all of our stamping is done. And I also have cut, I also took the scraps of old olive and I've cut our pieces of greenery to go on this as well, just to speed things up for the video. And so I think that we can start putting this card together now. So I just used liquid glue to adhere this piece of designer series paper to our card base. A piece of sticky glue there. Want that on our card. So you're just going to line this up, top and bottom, side to side, best you can. And then we're just going to start layering this. I put the greenery on first because I felt like then I could decide where I wanted to put those floral pieces. And so I did trim this one just a little bit here at the bottom because that was kind of long. And so I brought this one down. I intended to bring this one down, but once we put everything else on there, it really didn't show that much. So maybe I'll have it hang down a little bit lower. And then I didn't tuck this one in until I had those other pieces on, just so I could fill it in where I thought it would fit best up top there. So I did put these two down first. And this one, you could use adhesive sheets for this, which actually those are great because on a piece with really small areas to glue, the adhesive sheets basically make it like a sticker. And the next video that I'm doing is a Father's Day card, and I use the alphabet alamode letters, and they're so small that it was really hard to glue those. So I did use the adhesive sheets on that. So if you want to check out that card, you'll see what I'm talking about with the adhesive sheets, and those are really easy to use and so great, and make adhering things a little easier when it's small pieces like this. So that's kind of how I got started with this. And then let me bring this back in. So then I thought that this was a lot of dimension and a lot of things going on. So I'm going to try on this card, I'm going to actually glue this one down and then put this one on dimensionals. And right, and this is glued, the ribbon is on dimensional. So I'm going to just try it this way and see how it looks with this piece not on dimensionals and just glued down here. But actually, if we do that, because I tucked that underneath, so if we do that, we need to put this in as well. Let's just piece these in here and see what this is going to look like. And this will go here. Our ribbon and our circle here. Yep, I think that's going to look good. So I'll get some glue on this. Actually going to cut this down just a smidge too. I don't think we need all that on there. Then we'll glue this. See, these are a little bit easier because the leaves are bigger, so you can glue it. But on that other one, the leaves were so tiny. It's difficult to do that. So I'm going to, now I'll tuck this under there. Finish putting that down. And see, that's the nice part about the liquid glue, is it gives you time time to change directions if that's what you decide to do. So then we'll put this one up on dimensionals. Again, don't waste paper, so we use the other side. And no one's going to see that once we stick this down on our page. Secret will be safe. So then we'll tuck this one. I think we'll tuck this one here. There we go. All right, so then all we need to do, all I did with this is I kind of tried to fold it in half. So let me see this here. Went this way and then this way. So you just want to overlap that a little bit, and once you get it folded, you can decide. So this would be the part I'm going to go ahead and make this into a, just put a point on that. There we go. See how that's going to fit across there. Yep, that's going to fit nicely right on top of that. So then I just put glue. I wanted to put this together, so I just added glue inside here. And inside here. I love that idea. I've never thought of that, and the possibilities are endless, because you can do this to match any color, any card you're using. You know, it really is great. So then I'm going to put dimensionals on each end of this, just because it's going to have to go over that one piece that we did put the dimensionals on there. So I just put one on each end of this. We'll put that, let's see, let's bring in our circle. Before we stick that completely down, let's bring this in. Yep, I think that's going to look good, and I like it because this green shows up a little bit better than it did on this card. Not that that card's not pretty, but and then this piece I just glued down. And so I can't remember who I got this trick from, but if you flip it over and you glue like right where, you know what I mean? If you use that as your guide, then your glue is going to be not overlapping onto anything else but where you want it to be. There. Yep, I like that, because you've got some green coming down here. This is a little bit less, this stands out a little bit more. So yes, I like having this piece glued down. But if you guys can let me know in the comments which one you like better. And while we're talking about that, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and also hit that little bell, and that will tell you each time I post a new video. And I would love it if you wanted to join my team. And right now, starting this month, we have a great joint offer. You get $155 worth of Stampin' Up! Products for $99. So usually it's $125 of products that you get for $99, but this is a really, really great time. So if you've got a long wish list of things that you've seen in the new catalog that you want, this is a great time to join. I'd love to have you on my team. And if you have any questions or need any help with that, please reach out. Please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you about that. And if you would like a catalog, if you don't have a catalog, please message me and I will send one right out to you. So thanks again for stopping by. I hope you like this card, and I will see you again real soon. Take care.